don't know if I'm... Alright, well, we'll get Tommy here in just a moment. Let me see here. What was that one thing I saw today? Seen a lot of people get pissed about this article that I seen the other day. What was it? It was the... What was it? About the Apex. Well, I can't think of her name. The healer. What was that? What was that? What was that girl's name? Let's see. Hold on. News. Apex Legends. Crypto rework. Player rate drops. No. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I'll just mute for right now. If he comes, I'll see. Encoding overload. One. Hello, Alex. How you doing? Oh, nope. Let me see here. Yeah, I think that's the one. I go to there. There you go. Exit page. What? Okay. I don't know what that was, but okay. Let's see. It looks so respawn. That's the name. Or no, Lifeline. Lifeline. That's what it. Doing all right. Enjoying the Friday evening. Okay, that's good. That's good to hear. Next page. Is there another one? Hold on. Where? Because I've seen this is on multiple articles. Where is it? Lifeline rework. Okay, this might actually do it right here. I've been on this one lately. Let's see. So I've kind of noticed this too. I don't know if uh I don't know if no one has noticed this, but it seems like a lot of people are getting, I wouldn't say upset. I would probably say more like um, they don't want to deal with the shield that comes with her what was it called, the healing thing. Oh no. Oh, okay. Bandwidth patrol. What the hell? Oh, okay. Discord decided to disconnect me. I'll just head into one of the rooms here and go and pay. I guess we could go and paid players only. There you go. I'll just have to go in from there. But it looks like the Reddit that was there, I guess, they said that they're looking at doing some stuff for uh taking the shield away. I don't know. It bothers me a little bit, and this is kind of why. Like, the shield bothers me, but also not having a shield is kind of bothersome in a way, because her healing ability is really like OP. It's kind of like how what's that Overwatch character's name? The one that the one that's the angel. I can't think of her name. She's kind of based for that, but then it's like, oh, okay, well, let me see here. We could put shields on her, maybe no, but like she's such a mobile healer this kind of stuff happens, and um, I don't know. I'm kind of torn in between it. And hold on, let's see here. Did it? Oh, what the fuck? Okay, hold on. I didn't want it that way. Why? Why is shit opening up that I don't want? It's awesome. And Discord's having issues. And Discord's having issues, of course. Because why not? Why not? Why not? Discord is always having issues. Okay. I hope when the new season comes out next month, I really do hope that they do kind of make it like the Bastion, where or it's not Bastion, it's I think it's Bastion. The like the Overwatch character, he has like the shield that you can work with, but after a certain amount of damage to it, it's broken. It's done until you get killed. I hope that works out like that, or they'll have something like that that will be, I guess, quote unquote, works. Let me see here. I don't know. Let's see here. Let me put some music on while we wait here. Lo-fi? No, I didn't want lo-fi rock. I wanted lo-fi chill hop. There we go. But I hope everyone's having a fantastic weekend. I've been playing a lot of video games lately. I don't know why. I just like I think it's just real life shit's been happening. So we're trying here. No wait. What do you mean there's gonna be Titanfall content? I didn't see it. I thought it was gonna be like not about theming. Let's see. Oh, hold on here. Let me window capture. Delete. Yes, there we go. Okay. Banter. Google Chrome. This would be it. Yes. Okay. No, it didn't. Lol. Okay. Tommy C's taking over the whole thing. All right, there you go. Wow. While we wait for Tommy. Oh no. There you go. See, I do one update. It's been a while since I did an update for OBS, and then it's like that. That's what's happening. Okay, so wait, so what was this Apex shit doing? Or not even Apex, it's just Titanfall. What's Titanfall doing? Like, I guess let's see here. By the way, PC Invasion, Jigsaw, flushing things out. Cause like I read the comics for Apex, and it's like I have a feeling it's going towards the Titanfall. Why videos pop up? I don't want them. No, don't touch me there. Let's see here. The battle royale shooter has certainly built up a strong community. That's really true. No surprise considering the work put in development team. Didn't like half of the Titanfall team go to Apex anyway? Like that's the reason why we haven't had anything in the Titanfall series in like give or take 2 years, 2 or 3 years. Because I know they kept going out with updates, but like minor ones. Let's see. Well, you know, share. Oh, they share a universe. Okay. I didn't even know they actually did share that universe or not. Okay. Let's see here. Let's do the flushing things out. What? I don't. I don't understand why they're doing that. I really don't. Like it unless they're doing like another game mode, like maybe. Like I actually would be interested in doing seeing something like a Titanfall esque mode where it's kind of like that. Now, what the hell's going on? People are calling me now. I hate this. I hate life. It's doing all work. Okay, cool. Um, I don't know. I mean, if they're doing like what are they called? The mechas, or is it, they're like mechas? The big body things, like you work up a certain percentage when you play the regular game, and then you get the big bodied like heavy metal suits, and that happens. Oh god. The battle royals here. I mean, it's kind of a cult following at this point because like I think a lot of people like Apex a lot better than the actual Titanfall series. Um, I really liked Titanfall 1 though. I really did. The story was a little bit more fleshed out. Um, when Titanfall 2 came out, I felt like there was a lot of hiccups in it. Like how many years? How many years ago was that? 2016, 4 years ago? Man, how bad was it? Let's see. Setting, campaign, multiplayer, reception, generally favored. How can it be generally favored when it didn't sell exactly like what I would say would fit the mold as like a favorable game? Like, I mean, like you look at Skyrim and you see like okay, there's we've been nominated so many times, but we only won twice. Like, would that be considered favorable? I don't know. Like video games nowadays, like they're too much like movies. They get really critiqued on a lot of things. Like for me, um, and I really enjoyed X Play back in the day when what was it? Olivia Munn and or not Olivia Munn, Morgan Webb and I can't think of his name. Oh my lord, this is gonna haunt me forever. Adam Sessler, there you go. Did honest reviews. Like they actually did talk about what they wanted to um like talk about in a review. Like, is it playable? Is it a good story? Is the mechanics working? Like design. Like there's a lot of stuff that I like truly in a game that really is kind of missed nowadays, and I think some video game reviewers do too much. Like I know that's probably going to be a hot take, but like sometimes when you get video games, it's like really hard to be like, okay, here's every precise thing you want, and then like I guess in a way you just sit there and go, all right, well, I have this is the core things I'm looking at. this is my honest opinion of it. Like I feel like there's a there's a lot of just like oversensitivity over that. So I don't know. Like hold on, let's see. Where's Titanfall 1? Titanfall oh, okay, so it is a series. Okay, Titanfall 1. How good did this game do? Because I remember playing this one at my buddy's house. He had this game, and it was a really good game too. Sequel spinoff. Where's the awards? How many awards did they win? They didn't. They didn't get nominated. Game awards. Video game awards. Let's see here. Nickelodeon Kids Choice. Let's see the Game Awards. The Game Awards. That's the one I was looking at. History. Process. Let's see. What was that game came out in 2014, right? So. Or was it the next year? We're gonna go next year. What is it? Did did it not even get nominated at all? Like that's kind of like when's the last time I can't remember the last time I seen a game that wasn't nominated for something. Like the first game, like what was it? I think the last time. I think the last time was. I think it was the original FIFA. Hold on, let's see, because I'm curious. When the first original FIFA? Because I know there was like awards for it. FIFA International Soccer. We could take a look at it. The famous Twitch streamer, Tommy C. The famous Twitch streamer, Tommy C. Yeah, yeah, he'll be here very shortly. At the top of the hour. What the hell is that? Oh, did it? Wait, what the fuck? Hold on. Am I even live? What the hell? Okay, there you go. All right, there you go. Let's go back to intermission screen. So this is the first FIFA game. I think that's the last time it's been like nominated for award. Like the first game wasn't nominated at all. Let's see. Mostly positive comments. The original Genesis Mega Drive version. They made it for the Genesis? I thought it was only just for the 64. And okay. Hold on. Let's see. I'm actually kind of curious about that. Let me see. Man, that was. Oh, the Pele kick. That's nice. Okay. See, it had a lot of the countries. So, think what other game I'm thinking of that like at least of my knowledge that I know wasn't like would it be Mortal Kombat? Would it be the original Mortal Kombat? Like, cause I know Mortal Kombat was nominated for. I think it was Mortal Kombat 2. was nominated for like an award. Let's see. From like I think it was yeah, Game Masters, 81%. It was Game of the Year. There wasn't a Game of the Year. Wait, there was a Game Boy version. See, this is why I wish I was born in that era. I mean, I was, but let's see. So, games. Wait, there was a spin-off games. What do you mean? Oh, mythology. Okay, okay. I remember this one. Okay, the mythology Sub-Zero game. Live action cutscenes. How bad were they? I forgot how bad they were. Let's see. Let's go to YouTube. Let's see. How bad was the game? Like, let's see, gameplay. No, I want the gameplay. I want to take a look at it. Cause like I touched the original one, and then this happened. Okay, well, oh, ironic enough, we get the one ad. It's like, okay. How bad was it? Wait, it was that bad? God, what the hell was I thinking about this game? The famous Twitch streamer, Tommy C. Yes. What? Why is this game? You know what this game actually reminds me of? Hold on. I think I can. No, it was SBI. What was it? No, what was the PlayStation 1 game? I can't think of the name of it. Oh my lord. It's been so long since I even thought about this game. It kind of reminds me of no. Well, why do you want me to use my voice? I don't want my voice. Google. You already have it enough as it is with YouTube, but and at least I like this part, this whole thing right here, where when they're going past it, it actually gives a 3D effect. That's the only good thing I like about this game that I as far as I remember, because um I never played a lot of the Mortal Kombat games, and like I only played like one. I still have one somewhere in the house. Um Man, it's like, hold on, let's see. There's a what is it? So it's like a platformer, like meets Mortal Kombat. Didn't they do that with like Mortal Kombat 5? Like there was a whole like a whole ass origin story. What was that? Hold on, let's see Mortal Kombat 5. Was that the one or is that 6? Let's see here. Cuz Deadly Alliance. That wouldn't be it, right? I better hope it's not. Because I think they were the last edition to actually do the side scrolling, and then I think it was 5. I think it's 5. More. Oh, there's 3. Did they just miss a whole ass numbers? And just said like, oh, okay, we're just gonna do all these games. We're gonna try something different. Mortal Kombat 4 NA. Hello, gamers. Hey, Toxic, what's going on? So wait, was it? I think it was. It's either tournament edition. I think it's tournament edition because it had like a whole like. Someone's gonna have to help me there. With which game it is. It was. I know it was released on PlayStation 2, but I think it was. It's either that or it was the 360 edition of Ultimate Mortal Kombat. Or no, maybe it was this. Deception. Like, see, I this is what I don't get. Like most game series, they have like this was like maybe the first game series I remember growing up that there was too much. There's too much. Like the what was it? Mortal Kombat. Like I think it was Deadly Alliance. It's either Deadly Alliance or it was Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Cause it had a whole storyline. Oh yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hold on. Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Almost. Story mode. I think this is the game. I think that had like all the ads. I hate these stupid ads. I mean, I could switch over my private account, but that's um competition between you. Yes, this is it. This is it. Let me turn it up just a bit. Like this is the first. I think this was like the real first like Mortal Kombat game I got into. And thinking about it now, it's like the writing was absolute shit. Did my internet just take shit? Yeah, it's taking shit. Hold on. Better hope it's not. Yeah, I think it's the internet taking a shit here. See, those are the weird ass jump cuts that I didn't understand. Like PlayStation, I know back in the day could handle it. Like it had the right stuff for it. Let's see. I will send you to his temple. Find the chamber. Blah 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 blah. It's like the main cuts were really kind of hellacious. Scroll, and then like into the side scroll. Some weird ass shit. Yeah, this okay. So this is the game. This is the game that I really didn't like at all. Yeah, This was the game that I didn't like at all. Why was this game made even? Like, give or take, it's kind of reminds me of and so I have the game. I have like the original game and then the original GameCube version of Legends of Wrestling. And how much nowadays I guess that's like a cult following game because a lot of people didn't like WWE games at the time. I don't know. I liked it for how bad it was. Yeah. So here's my thing. Like, there at the time, I think who's the developer of this game? Let's see. Developer Midway. Okay, so Just Games. So I think this was like the second to last game Just Games did, cuz I know the next one they did was because I know they switched over to their current developer. What was it? A couple of years ago, when they did Marvel vs. DC. Or oh no, didn't? Okay, well, because there's NetherRealm, and I have family that lives literally right near the studio, and that's really cool. They want me to definitely do something with that because this was the reboot. This was the reboot that they did, or it's like Mortal Kombat 9. Like if I could, if I had to make like a whole S tier list, like obviously the first three games God tier, no question. Like that game that we just showed, that other one, hot ass garbage. Like this game, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, by today's standards, by my today's standards, I would probably tell you you've lost your mind, and I wouldn't play it at all. You know, like there's fighting games that I still won't touch to this day. Like the most recent one I did was Tekken, and that was because Negan was on it, and Negan was super OP. And I didn't even know that until someone was like telling me, like, why are you using a character? Why are you using a character that's like extremely OP as hell? I was like, what do you mean by that? It's like, well, didn't you realize it's like really OP? Like, okay, I get it's OP, but what makes it OP? Like, what makes it OP? Like, well, because his strong attacks, take almost a third of your health bar, and then when he does his ult, it practically takes the whole thing. Well, isn't that what the Ryuku or the Hadouken, all that in Street Fighter did? Like a lot of people like to bitch about that for a DLC character, yet it's like, what am I supposed to do if like a normal character actually is OP? Like I remember hearing people bitch about in the recent one, the Ultimate Edition, the same way they bitched about Negan being on the Street Fighter game, or not Street Fighter, Tekken, about how OP he was, and that was the Freddy DLC. And I was like, you not no, it was Predator. There you go, Predator. I know they do like a whole bunch of horror stuff, so that's right. Yep, I'm ready to go. Yep. All right. Okay, guys. So we're gonna skip on over here. Where's my window capture? Okay, there we go. Texts. All right, you guys, ladies and gentlemen, my guest is one of one of my favorites in the commentary community. You could see him a couple days a week on his channel, Shot for the Point. Mr. Tommy C. Hello, Mr. Tommy C. How you doing?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Let me turn you up a little bit right there.
Sure.
So, I want to begin just kind of like how did you get into the military? Because I was fascinated to hear that you were in the military, and
Well, I did it the old-fashioned way. I joined.
I joined. Okay,
I
yeah,
joined the military. Correct. You go to your local recruiter,
yeah,
and I just literally walked in the door. Um, I've told this story before. When I was in training for my MOS or job, the sergeant took over the schoolhouse. Had just come off recruiting duty, and he gave us the whole, the typical, this is what's going to happen, this is what you can expect, this is what I expect from you, all the ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, real sergeant style, real cold. And he walked out the door, and we all sat down, and then he ran back in. Everybody, popped up to parade rest, and he's like, sit down, sit down, sit down. He goes, now I'm kind of talking to you off record. I don't know if that's the words he used, but it's something to that effect.
something
Because I
around
just
there.
got off recruiting duty. Yeah. And I want to know how many of you responded to mail, raise your hand. And nobody did. And then how many of you signed up through your school, raise your hand. And nobody did. And he went through a couple other things. I remember he said America's Army. And I just said, I raised my hand. I played America's Army, but I played America's Army like 2-3 years before I joined. So that wasn't the factor. And he says, no. And he goes, how many of you just walked into the recruiting office and every single soldier in the schoolhouse raised their hand? And I'm trying to think, the classroom had about 20 privates.
Wow.
Yeah. So it kind of, it made me think right there and then that this is something that I'm not a religious person or anything, but I think there's certain jobs that you're kind of preordained to do. And I don't know if you could be talked into joining the military. I don't know if that's possible. Maybe the Army's wasting their money. I think you decide, because if you're healthy, they'll take you. So I think a lot of young people that I met, and I was, anywhere from 9 to 10 years older than most of them. I joined at 27.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something they always wanted to do. There was never any doubt in their mind that this is the direction they were going, that this is where they would be at that exact time. So as soon as they were old enough to walk in a recruiting station, they did.
Okay.
Even guys that were 20, 22, 23, they just, thought it was time to join the military. So I think it's kind of in your DNA to some point. I imagine like a Catholic any kind of priest,
Mm-hmm.
or some people are just going to end up in those kind of roles in life, and I think this is one of them. And yeah, the Army probably wastes a lot of money with recruiting tools because you can't trick somebody into this. Most people, not all, know exactly what they're getting into and know what the risks are. And you forget wars, you can get killed in training. It happens all the time. It happens every day. Soldiers get killed in training and mine. I had a sergeant major that I was a friend I was friendly with. He had a blood clot on the way to PT and died in
Wow.
his car. Yeah, so I mean, like, it's a lot of people die in the military, whether you're war or not. It's just something. When I was in airborne school, we had a young college kid fall out of a run and died. Right in
Wow.
front of me. And so it's a dangerous job, and what ends up happening is you get pushed. They push you to your limits, and a lot of times you don't know if there's heart conditions. You've never experienced any kind of health in your life, but you're going to sometimes, unfortunately, find out the hard way that you didn't belong there. And then doctors make mistakes and they miss things and stuff like that. So I mean, a part of military life is learning to deal with death and risk, and making responsible. Taking on risk responsibly. So yeah, I think I have a belief, no proof, that people are sort of you have to have a kind of I guess a strain of warrior in you, and I don't think all men have that.
Oh
I
yeah, of
don't think
course.
everybody's
I
built for
definitely
that. Yeah.
agree. Um, I could, as far as I can remember, when I was in high school, we had army recruiters there, and and most people would like give them interest, and there was like some of the boys in the football team, they wanted to be a part of the Marines, and from
Mm,
my understanding, their at least athletic requirements are
mhm.
still like boulder concrete. Like you either are under the line or above the line. You can't ride the line. Because
Uh,
recently, if you I don't know if you've seen this yet, but the army recently did something about uh turning down the requirements again, and I know they did this a couple times, at least since I got out of high school.
no, I'm not familiar with what they do. I haven't heard good things from friends of mine that just retired. I haven't I just can't keep all the complaints straight.
Yeah,
Something definitely happened. I think I got out of right about the right time.
yeah,
Um,
a lot of
because
people did.
they were changing things. I heard
Yeah,
something on Tim Pool that they changed the women's requirements and those
that was it.
made them
Yeah.
equal to the men, and of course it didn't work because it's biology denial. Um, it's ridiculous because here's the thing, to get through basic training as a 20-year-old woman, you really only have to do 12 push-ups, and being able to do just 12 push-ups is not enough to enter any kind of combat, much less combat training. And look, I've met girls that could do 50, but they were few and far between. And I think what the military is trying to do now, for whatever sick and twisted reason, is try to put women in programs like Ranger indoctrination and
Hmm.
possibly special forces, and the body type is your body, the bodies can't handle it. I strictly remember now. I went to Fort Jackson, and they did this stupid experiment where they mix males and females in basic training. And we are supposed to do an RTX, which is like a week living off kind of the land or with military equipment and stuff in the woods over in Fort Jackson. And I'll
Hmm.
never forget when these vehicles pulled up and all female personnel get in the trucks. And it was like, I guess I started on a Monday, and this was about Wednesday or Thursday, and we did a 7 or maybe it's a 20 mile ruck march back. So in the middle of it, women were told to get in um, buses, and they were all. And when they came back, we asked them, "What did you do?" We took a shower. And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And a lot of guys were bitching and moaning and complaining about it. But I mean, I was just like, "Well, of course, because you can't have a couple hundred women with vaginal infections." Like it's that's a serious problem.
Yeah.
If you're in the muck, in the dirt, and stuff like that, it's just training. I never saw any combat. So women had to be pulled out of the field, halfway through. And by the way, I don't want to dump on female soldiers. There's a lot of great women in the military, and we need them very, very much. I just think the social experiment that they're playing with right now is potentially deadly. And I do know from my own experience in the military that when they make a stupid decision like this, you essentially have to pretend that women can keep up. I'll give you a perfect example. If you got just a detail to pick up some major heavy shit, uh, what ends up happening, women gets assigned to the detail,
Hmm.
and they can't pick this shit up by themselves or at all, even with another person, which makes it dangerous. So here's what ends up happening. There's always that one girl that says that's gonna like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say it. She is politely taken aside and said, "Look, we want to get out of here. We appreciate the effort. No problem.
Hmm.
We're gonna tell everybody that you're not gonna get in trouble. We're gonna tell everybody that you came in. There's another, and don't worry about it. We're gonna knock this out." The guys get together and they do all the work. Now,
Hmm.
there's another type of female soldier. Like, I'm picking up that shit. you know, it's too. So that's the worst of the two attitudes. At least the other girls went to pick it up. So I think there's this, along with this sort of degenderizing everybody. I think they're probably experimenting that with the military, and I'm
Yeah.
sure it's going to be a disaster. And I'm sure it's going to take away from the mission of the army and other, which is to kill people and break shit, and that should be the number one priority. And when that's not the number one priority, you better be in peacetime. Um, But it's just it's perplexing to me. It's biology denial. This is not an attack on female soldiers or patriotism or will.
Mm-hmm.
It's a statement of fact on. And look, there's always a girl out there. You always, well, what about Sherry? She can lift 200 pounds. You can't lift 200 pounds. You can't lift 250 pounds. Yeah, and she's like an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
So, and it's nothing when they've, from what I understand, they've tried to lower standards for SEALs to get the women in SEALs. It doesn't even work. So,
yeah,
again, I did a lot of great women in the military, a lot of wonderful officers I've met, a lot of smart women in the military, good leaders, and they don't. I would say that women don't have, as far as leadership's concerned, women don't have a lock on bad leadership.
No.
Any more than men do. I think you have just as many bad men as you do women in there.
Mm-hmm.
And but the one thing that separates us all is the biological factor, where men have muscles, women have glands, and the denial of that is frightening.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you didn't see combat. So can you kind of explain like where you were deployed and just kind of like
I was deployed the home of Saddam Hussein to Tikrit, Iraq.
okay.
It was shortly after what General Petraeus called the surge,
Mm-hmm.
where we were having a lot of success in Iraq. I mean, just to put it mildly, we were kicking ass and taking names. And one of the reasons we were kicking ass and taking names is because that was the mission, and the mission wasn't to hold things down as much. If we'd go in, and if you saw an enemy, no matter what they might be, and remember, there's a lot of different enemies. You have, both Sunni and Shia trying to kill each other, and you had Mahdi army types. I'm sure even when I was there, you probably had the beginnings of ISIS and other, there's a million
Mm-hmm.
groups, and you just go in and you wipe every single one of them out. And that became the mission under Petraeus, that and sort of the Colin Powell doctrine of, overwhelming force. That's one of the things that the terrorists can't keep up with, is you have just tremendous overwhelming force. You got more men. It's really what won us World War One. When the Europeans were stuck, digging trenches, you just get out of the trench and you overwhelm the enemy with well-armed bodies.
Yeah.
So that's what we decided to do. By the time I got there, things would cool out. Now we had the occasional mortar attack, and I had the misfortune of seeing some wounded Iraqis in our kind of makeshift hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I even tried to save some Iraqi lives when we were just outside the wire practicing. It was like if you went just outside the wire to Tikrit or FOB Spiker, as they called it.
Of course.
That's where we practiced and fired a bunch of weapons off, and I saw these guys digging, and I saw these guys digging. I'm like, what the hell are these guys digging? And digging hasty so they can pick us off. I went to my first sergeant commander. I said, what the hell is it with this? He said, just call it in. I was like, both these guys saw combat before. So I'm a little nervous. For all I know, they're trying to pick off you. You got the brass. And he's like, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. So I called it in. At first, it was kind of taken as, oh, here's this fobbit, trying to act like he's a tough guy. But no, there was guys digging stuff out there. I was told later that a lot of times what they would do is they would try to crack open the old oil pipelines and just scrape whatever they could out of there. Either sell it or run it. I don't know what the fuck they were doing with the oil. I have no idea. But I called it in. It wasn't taken terribly seriously. And about a year or two after, I was told by somebody who was in the talk that I was telling the story, and he really casually looked at it. He goes, "We killed those guys." And I was, what? What was the reason to kill? I thought they were digging. Yeah, because they probably were, but they were out past curfew. So we just we sent and I said, guy with a freaking blue shirt, white pants, and a guy with a blue shirt and a blue shirt, white pants, and a guy with white pants and a blue shirt. And he's like, yeah, I remember that. It was around March, wasn't it? I'm like, yeah, it was February or March. And he says, the MPs, he goes, I go, they came in a white truck, correct? Yes. And he goes, the guy in the white truck had an AK-47. So we killed all three of them. And I'm thinking to myself, they probably could have just told those guys to get fucking lost 12 hours earlier when I called it in. But because the Fobbit called it in, I wasn't expected to and there is a lot of fob type guys. Yes, yes you. There is a lot of Fobbit type guys that like to kind of feign that they're hardcore. Lord Vega can tell you that. But I do think about it often. I think those two men, maybe three, if the story's right. I have no doubt in my mind. This person, I trust them very deeply. I was very close to them. Yeah, they could have just chased them off in the daytime. So I just went over, and I don't know. Maybe they opened fire on the MPs. I have no idea.
So one of the sorry. So one of the things that I've always been intrigued by was about around that time that you were deployed, like a lot of technology was evolving and everything. And one of those things that I was intrigued about was, of course, the end of AOL and Yahoo, and that was the whole business at the time for my age. What kind of stuff did they have in the military at the time to like at least give connections to like family members?
I gotta be connection to family, just the same standard stuff.
Okay.
We had I thought you were gonna talk about military equipment. I can't go on about
yeah. No. I know that's classified.
It was really funny. My uncle's in Vietnam, and I called my wife every night on Skype.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, so it was like AOL. I was in 2007 and 8, so AOL was long dead at that point.
Yeah.
It was probably dead for a good 7 years at that point.
Yeah, and Yahoo stick around for longer.
It was Skype was brand new.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would end up getting bought by Microsoft by the time we got out, or maybe when we were there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of people. We had a satellite internet, which is awful, but it's also very common in the Middle East. One of my friends, news team members, and trusted colleagues, Walt, he has satellite internet, and it's god awful. It's just completely terrible. But yeah, that's how we communicated. I'd call back to Germany. My father was too much of a boomer, I think, to figure out Skype at that point in time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember thinking. I remember thinking like this is a lot better. I mean, like when you went away in the old days, you went away and you didn't see anybody until you got back, and a lot of times they didn't know you even made it until you got back. So it was definitely a lot easier for us, and we had a lot of more support than I think your average Vietnam veteran, which is sad, but also good at the same time, because I think the Americans learned from their mistakes and the way they treated Vietnam vets.
Yeah. Okay, so you we'll go like a couple years later. You just got out of the military. How did you get into YouTube?
Purely, how did I get into YouTube? Like,
was there like a video that kind of like sparked your interest?
I was working like 16 hours days, and I was in a pretty ugly divorce, and most of my time was dedicated to going to court and learning how to stay in Germany legally. I worked, and when I didn't work, I had drill at that point, and so I was still technically in the reserves. YouTube was I didn't look at it. I didn't look at it like you guys did. I didn't see it as a way to celebrity, or even because I think of shows like on TV and movies and stuff like that, music and those forms of entertainment. I did kind of ignorantly see YouTube as the minor leagues and not really the budding major leagues, or just a change in media in general. I just did it because whatever little time I had to myself, I wanted to talk about hockey. And then I had my other buddy, Dave, Dead on Dave, who was trying to figure out how to get medically retired. He was all sorts of fucked up from Iraq, and we have really good on-air chemistry, I suppose. And our long telephone conversations really translated. Translated is probably the wrong word. They really adapted well to a podcast format. So I never had any dreams. I grew up being a radio guy. It's probably why I don't make too many videos. I'm not really interested in making videos. I love taking in videos and talking about videos, but I'm much more comfortable on this kind of live stream podcast
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
thing. So
definitely.
yeah, that's how I got into it. Just it was something to do and something to show my friends. It never, but being the way I am, it essentially got more and more organized and more positioned to where, at least the way I saw it at the time, it probably wasn't the best way to get noticed. If I were to get noticed, I would be able to handle, if I were to get that big break that Dave and I talked about, um, that Dave and I talked about, yeah, that I would be able to handle. And to some extent, that was true.
Yeah. I never really got into YouTube till like I think it was the year after they started to do like the limit that anyone could upload was like 10 minutes, and
Oh,
I
geez.
I remember that
Before
like
my
it was
time.
yesterday. Oh my god, it
Yeah,
was terrible.
before my time.
Yeah, because back in the day, a lot of tape traders actually started transitioning into putting like wrestling shows in the 10-minute formats and cutting them out and everything. That's how I watched a lot of the early like Japanese wrestling from like the early 90s.
No kidding. No,
Yeah.
my knowledge of Japanese wrestling is like slim and none. Um, but yeah, that's funny too. Now that I mention it, after doing hockey, Joe Cronin, he's a pretty reasonably well known, even still today. Hockey, he has a similar format that I do with the live streaming
Hmm.
in his channel. He had noticed me. Well, actually, I'd found a tape of him and made fun of him, and he took it rather well and basically told me that it was an act.
Oh.
He was crying about the Boston Bruins, but the whole thing was an act. And he liked me and I liked him, and then I started going on sort of being, that's really kind of the formation of the nasty, belligerent Tommy C character was on Joe Cronin, where I would insult his fans and
Yeah.
and tell them their questions were stupid. Um,
So how did you come up with the idea of doing shot from the point? Like, cause and plus, how did you come up with that name? Because I've always I
shot
thought that was.
a shot from the point is a shot just ahead of the blue line, normally by a
Mhm.
defenseman. The point is the end of the ice near the blue line, and those it's just it's not a specific area; it's a general area
Mhm.
where you would take a long distance shot, like on a power play or a drop pass. It's extremely difficult shot because you have all the traffic in front of you, and I just think it sounds cool. And then there's also the kind of the assassin's a
Mhm.
point man. It's kind of a reference to that. I just think it sounded cool.
Yeah.
Um, and then I wanted to be a little outlaw, so the logo took on a sort of a look to the Jolly Roger, like a pirate thing. We later changed the hockey sticks to microphones.
Oh.
Um, but yeah, I wanted to be sort of to give the message of like an outlaw, a sports podcast. That was it. But I didn't. And it sounds so cliche, but I didn't think it would be. I think when I started realizing the power of YouTube, I was like, yeah, sure, this could work. But I never thought I could do anything other than hockey, yeah,
Mhm.
or maybe some kind of hobby that I was. I thought it was like very hobby specific, but as I grew, I started noticing other YouTubers and the whole politics of YouTube, what everybody calls drama,
Mhm.
started interesting me long before I met Keemstar. So.
Was there a specific story that got you into the drama community? Because like I know a lot of people have like they'll say, well, there was a lot of multiple stories, but like for me, how I even got into you and Tipster, you guys were the first two people that I actually got to watch in the drama community, and it was over the Susie Lou stuff, and I was like, whoa, wait, this is happening, this shit's actually happening, what's going on here? It's
Funny, this is
like,
a funny story. Tipster really took that story to another level. He had to sacrifice a lot too because he lost his program thing. Um,
mhm.
no, I just kind of liked how goofy Dromler was, and I thought it was funny how mean Keemstar was. I like mean comedy. and he was a little more mean back then. He wasn't sort of the Keem is very much more game show host like now.
Yeah.
Um, and I that's not a criticism. That's the reality of post apocalypse YouTube.
Yeah.
So I get it, and I still think Keem's funny, and he is creative, but it was just like, how stupid can the internet? These kids are so stupid. This is so funny. There was no. I'm trying to remember the specific story. The one that always sticks in my head, you would think it would be like the Bachelorverse story, because that was like epic,
Yeah.
or
I
Lion Maker. Lion Maker was up there. I mean, Lion Maker I paid attention to. That was because it was unique at the time. Now it's like every day.
Oh my god.
So I just remember this when he used to do FIFA, and there was this kid. I guess they had some beef online, and they were at some kind of FIFA convention, and the kid invited him. Like, let's talk this out. Let's go back to my room and talk this out. And the kid was like, he was an English kid, um, and uh, he went back to the room, and they shook it out. He walks into the room. They shut the door. This other guy shuts the door behind him, and he assaults him right there, and it has a camera on, like punching him in the face, and initially not letting him out. I remember somebody met, like, I remember I showed him my dad or something. Says, that's kidnapping. That's a felony. If they want to push it in that direction. And I remember Keem, like, I guess this kid that assaulted him was going to be seen as a tough guy, but it really backfired on him. He's seen as a coward, and that was a really, really shitty thing to do, if not, borderline a borderline felony. And that story always stuck up my head. I remember Keem dropped the act a little bit, and I think he interviewed that guy, and he says, he goes, what you did was just, pussy shit. That's just that's you're lucky you're not in jail. You can't have somebody come in the room after telling them everything's okay, and your little boyfriend that helped you along and film it. I mean, this is serious stuff here, and you're way out of line. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then of course there was the Tommy and C incident, which actually kind of dragged me in, because I was friends with Tommy and C through Joe Cronin's show, and then he got wrapped up in a controversy when Leafy made a video on him, and Keem supported Leafy on this, which was of course ridiculous. And I stuck up for Tommy, and kind of rest is history.
Yeah, I remember just hearing just like the that story about obviously the guy in the room. It kind of as you were telling it reminded me of what happened recently with Ethan Ralph with the whole
that was
that
good.
whole thing.
That was a good one. The Ethan Ralph, the John Swan stuff. That's definitely more stuff I'm looking to cover in the future.
Yeah. I was curious about like a lot of people, because I stream on D Live and stuff like that, and everyone's like, this is kind of like they're still wondering like, why did like Ethan get banned from this, because they consider it's like alt tech. I mean, it kind of is now. Like it's I don't see it as alt tech. I mean, it's like,
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't. It's just like, it's a little bit more freedom.
It's a way for the big guys to stay on top. They kick off the undesirables. The undesirables use alternative tech, and then they label them as alt right. It really, you get rid of the person, and then you can stain the other piece of tech with these undesirables, where they're rightly or wrongly been kicked off of their platform. So yeah, I mean, we saw the thing with Parler happen back in January, and I don't think the tech itself is not the problem. I can imagine you can have an individual problem with the streamer or creator, but I do think it's the big tech companies making sure they never have any kind of serious competition, because
they're circling the bases.
Any of these competition is absolute free speech, or free speech within reason. Free speech with like the only thing you really can't do is call people, threaten people, anything within the law, or any kind of a natural Western law.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's the one enemy of all the tech companies. The enemy is free speech because they would have to be on a level playing field. You know?
Mhm. Yeah. I got one more question for you, and then I'll let you go. So over the years, I like to say that you've made a lot of amazing quotes that I wasn't even aware of, and people sent me like
Oh, really?
a couple
I'm
of them.
interested. I'm interested.
Is there a few that you've kind of regretted saying, or you just sit there and go, "I said what I said. I said what I
Actually,
said."
can you read them? Can you read them? Do you have any in front of you?
Stick the knife in your neck and turn it to the
No, not at
left.
all.
That one,
No,
like
not
that.
at
That
all.
was
I think
one.
I can't get upset at that one. First of all, I know the guy said it too, and I generally like him.
Yeah,
I think I'd only feel bad about it if he came to me and said you went too far. Then I would feel bad about it. So no,
yeah.
I don't feel bad about that at all because I know the person I was saying it to, and offline I generally like. His name is Running Riot. I do like him, and when I was having a real tough time, he was there for me.
That's good.
You know, he was just somebody I happened to. So no, I have no regret from that whatsoever. The comment is so over the top and just utterly ridiculous.
Mhm.
The you know,
I mean, it's shot.
honestly, if you take that literally, you know, kill yourself. Um, you know, believe me,
On
come
that.
on. Who's gonna stick a knife in their own neck? It's just ridiculous. I feel like Two Live Crew in the early '90s trying to explain, like, yeah, the sex lyrics and this stuff are
Oh
not even
God,
current. It's
I
ridiculous for the
remember
sake of being ridiculous.
I remember going to high school one time, and I borrowed one of my brother's dad's CDs, and it was Two Life Crew's first CD, and I got so many
Well, they
looks
were really going. They were really going after them when I
because
was a kid. I was
I
14 or
come out of the
15. Yeah.
door and it's the me so horny, and all of a sudden everyone's like, the fuck, like what?
That was their lightest song.
That was it. Everyone
That
was
was their
like,
lightest song. But
Russ,
they had a
you
song called "The
out of
Buck."
all of us,
They,
you.
they had a song called "The Buck," and I'm not going to get too into it, but it had to do with the putting a woman in an absolutely excruciating and painful sexual position, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was impossible to do without probably killing somebody. And I remember them on a Donahue, and they read the lyrics out loud. It's like so he's like, so Phil, after hearing that, are you gonna go home and put your wife in the buck, or is this just a stupid song? You know, and I was like, that really resonated with me because that really resonated because it's like, yeah, the song is yeah, the comedy is violence, but it's not literal violence or encouragement of violence or anything like that. So,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just a funny, it's just a funny dark humor. So,
it's like
no, I
kind
don't
of the same
regret
thing.
anything. I regret, the most recent regret I have is when I was doing the Pyro case, and he clipped it, and fair enough, he clipped it. I wouldn't even say it's out of context. When I found out that Pyro had invited this kid, Ivory, who would years later end up
Mm-hmm.
accusing him of having an inappropriate relationship. So far, I've yet to see any kind of criminal inappropriate relationship, but I just it boggles my mind, like how he didn't do any kind of looking into who he was inviting when, and his excuse was, you know, I just kind of put a message out for everybody to come. And I was like, I made the comment, I said, what is he going to do? Fly over this kid and fuck him?
Ooh.
And like, yeah, that's what I do regret that a little because I really try to avoid, you know, accusing. I don't do the pedo jokes unless they're pedos.
Yeah, yeah.
But to me, the way I took it at the time was like, how could you invite this kid after, you know, and you like months would go by, you check into his age or anything, and then like I was really angry about like the whole Ivory situation. To this day, Ivory has not been caught in a lie, and I maintain that.
Well, that's
To this
good.
day, Ivory has not been caught in a lie, and the initial way to deal with Ivory is to make him out to be a liar, and um, Pyro went along with that, and that aggravated me. They've never sort of disproven anything he said. The only thing they could do is he really didn't know the definition of grooming, and well, the reason he doesn't know the definition of grooming is because of me. I did the hard work, I did the journalism, and I got him on record, and he really didn't know what the hell he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And you're welcome. And Pyro's first thing was kind of to attack his character. To this day, I don't know if he's ever been caught for life. Did he lie? I don't know, but he haven't. So Turkey Tom makes his very shoddy journalism and accusations against Pyro, and he kind of admits to absolutely everything at that point that we were accusing him of, except the source, the criminal stuff, and concentrates on the journalism because he pushed that, as William X said, he pushed that button too far, and then he kind of admitted to being he admitted being the degenerate that he was denying that he was. He finally admitted that he was completely and totally irresponsible when it came to Ivory and should have looked into his age, and then concentrated on Turkey Tom's, I could say, shoddy, piss poor journalism.
Mm-hmm.
And just weeks prior, he was being completely evasive and letting his fans know that this is somebody who's lying about me. Again, I don't think Ivory's ever been caught in a lie. Mm-hmm. So I do regret saying he's going to fly him over to fuck him, But, I mean, who knows? Like, he's sitting there writing to him and telling him, like, am I going to be allowed to drink over there because I can't drink in the States? Wouldn't that have set a bell off?
Yeah, that would have caught a red flag,
said,
period.
Hey, what do you mean? How old are you? Nothing. I do think that Pyro more than likely knew the kid's age.
I agree with that.
I'm more than likely. I don't know. I can't prove it. But, here's the problem. Is what I tell everybody. Even if he did know, you've got nothing on him. Mm-hmm. Nothing criminal. He's just exceptionally irresponsible. So, I mean, that's the way I feel about the.
It's almost like he essentially wrote that O.J. Simpson book in a way. I guess.
I don't know about that. I think what he did is, I think at some level he knows he's guilty, and then he waited for the right moment. And he's not a stupid guy.
Oh no, I agree with that.
Right moment not a stupid guy. There and make this kid out to be a liar, which he's not. Mm-hmm. He did apologize to this kid, but to the victim. So I just don't know how much of a victim Ivory is.
Yeah.
If Ivory's a victim of anything, he is a victim of being called a liar when they could not prove any of this. Now, I know he's done some weird things since, but it doesn't make him any more a liar. Somebody wrote being a furry is
enough to be guilty.
But no, I think Pyro is a shrewd YouTube whore, and I think he'll do anything to stay afloat. But yeah, that's the only other thing. And I'm sorry I took up for Email Strong when that whole drama happened. That was stupid. I'm very, very. I'm sorry I got involved with any of those, the alt-right crowd. But keep in mind, I was fighting them. I wasn't going along with them.
Yeah.
But I should have just stayed out of it completely. I can't think of anything I've said that really I regret.
I mean, there's like some rants where I sit there and go like, you probably would regret that, maybe, and then like a couple days later, I just sit there and go, no, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. Like,
no, why would I? Well, first of all, some of the stuff I'm saying is just so fucking outrageous. If you're taking it literally, I don't got time for you.
Now, no.
Would I regret it if I got in trouble or somebody tried to cancel me? I've been pretty good at navigating that when those things happen. And what I do is when the cancel thing, I just shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. I don't say anything. And if anybody asks me for an apology, I don't apologize and double down. I mean, if I sit there and say, hey, look, I was wrong here, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say, look, I apologize because I screwed this up and my words hurt these people in an unfair manner because what I said wasn't true. I'm not going to apologize for fucking hyperbole. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Fuck off. I'm not going to apologize for being outrageous.
Oh, no.
Never. So, no, I know everybody gets really nervous when I start talking like that, but that's why people go with the show, and they never know when it's going to be. They never know when they're going to see it. It's like watching NASCAR. People show up for the fucking car crashes, and nobody
exactly. I've been to Talladega like 5 times, and it's like I'm sitting at the beginning of the corner, and then there's more people towards the checker flag stand, and it's because most people will basically checkers or wreckers right towards the finish line. And do I enjoy watching it? Yes. Do I wish that they don't don't get injured.
Yeah,
of course. I don't want them
hurt,
injured.
I like a good hockey fight too. You know.
Yeah.
I like a good hockey fight. Everyone, God, I mean, it's a little rougher with that sport though, because you got a real chance of fucking dying. In a hockey fight, yeah, you have a chance to die. Anybody does in a hockey, but the odds go way down.
Thank you for the no Turtle.
It's tough for me to get into that. I like seeing a Rex too. Don't get me wrong, but it's tough. It's tough for me to get into that because first of all, they're out of the race. That sucks.
Yeah.
And like you. I mean, I watched what's his face die on live TV.
Dale Earnhardt Sr. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like that's when they were really trying to make NASCAR mainstream. I remember, they were promoting him and his son, and he was the Intimidator. I remember that the weekend that he passed away, they were saying who's the most intimidating athlete in the world. It was Ty Domi of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I forget, some football player. Oh, and Dale Earnhardt. Mm-hmm. And it really looked like, wow, this is going to be more than just a Southern and Western thing. It looked like it was really going to hit the Northeast. Like people were really going to connect with it. And some people did, but when Dale Earnhardt died, I think it hurt the growth of the sport in the Northeast.
Yeah.
And it was sad. It was sad because he was a name I heard pretty much all through my childhood.
Yeah. And the funny thing about that is it's like where we lose someone who won't take shit, we gain someone in Tony Stewart. And I remember in one of his last races, he got in a fight with Joe Logano. He said, I'm gonna kill this fucker. Right. Like literally in the middle of the fight.
I like all that country boy badass big country bullshit. I get a kick out of it. So I mean, I like those two.
Yeah, and I've been to one hockey game at the United Center. They were playing against, I think it was not Winnipeg. They were playing against the I think it was Ontario, and there was literally
United Center. Which stadium is that?
Chicago.
Oh, well, they ain't playing Ontario. They playing the Leafs.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, they're playing the Leafs.
Yeah, they're from Ontario. Yeah.
And they literally hip checked a dude into the corner, heading towards I think it was the Leafs goal, and basically from there it was just slug 'em, like blood flow, like from the nose, broken.
Too low. Problem with those hip checks, it doesn't matter if you hit the leg or in the gut. But if you do his hip checks by the knees, it's a career ender. So it gets everybody pretty jumpy.
Yeah.
With the hip check, you can take somebody out in the knees.
Do you have my stream?
Do you have anything else?
No. You answer all my questions. I appreciate you very much for coming on. Thank you.
All right.
I'll talk to you later, Tommy.
All right. All the best. I'll tweet it out in my community tab.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, you guys. Well, that was Tommy C. Once again, thank you, Tommy, for coming on. I appreciate you. And let me get the Streamlabs because I know Turtle's gonna screech at me if I don't. Hold on. Streamlabs. Let me put on some music while. There we go. Make sure. Oh, thank you, Sasquatch, and I really appreciate you. And honestly, yes, kitten. I want to thank you. Once again, thank you, Turtle, for the donut, the $50 donut. Girl, you amazing. $50 donut. Say GG, homie. All right, thank you so much. Of course, if you're watching on the past VOD, obviously, recommend someone that you want to see me talk to, because I always like talking about like how they came to YouTube and just like how obviously they interact in the YouTube community and just all that. I like listening to these fascinating like stories of like how they got into YouTube and everything like that. Yes, positivity, Turtle. Yes. Once again, thank you, Kitten, for actually basically just saying, "Hey, he wants to interview you." I was like, But thank you, Kitten. I really do appreciate it. But you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna get off, but if you guys haven't yet, check the link tree. I think the link tree is down there. If not, go to my social medias. On Twitter, it'll have the link tree. It'll have the Alpha on Air podcast server. I'll be probably hanging out in there tonight. And yes, you're a useful asshole, Chi. I'll probably be hanging there tonight. Later on tonight for a stream. More Apex. I keep getting wins lately. I think this final part of the season is really getting me some nice dubs. So we'll definitely work on that and everything. So you guys, I'm the Alpha Russ. This has been Alpha on Air, the Bayside Sessions. Have a good night. Don't get murdered. Please don't get murdered. Wear a freaking mask.